Well, welcome to the show, John.
Thank
We
you.
are we're on season 2, episode 16, if I believe.
And last week was our 50th episode.
Oh,
Yes,
congratulations.
Thank you.
I know. We had our goal set for how many viewers and downloads we want. We hit it for the year just in time.
And we're like 50% above it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. For it being new and seeing where it's come so far, I'm excited and excited to see where it goes. We're now starting to get to follow up with people that we've had on before to see, all right, they left off the show, they were looking for this, and now we have them back and they've accomplished that goal and now they're on to the next one. So that's like the cool lineage that we're starting to see now.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, I mean, John, welcome. Thank you for giving us the time. We appreciate it. 51st episode overall. But we are looking at what does John do? Where did you come from? Where are you located? And then you also have a podcast yourself. So
I do.
I want to get into that a little bit too, but let's start out. Who is John?
All right. Now, it depends on how far back you want me to go. I can go from my origins and stuff. Like, I started off, I'll tell you what, I started off as, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've tried the whole job thing before and it's never really lasted. I think my longest period of working in a job was 2 years, and it was a McDonald's, and I was 15 years old. And the only reason I did it was because it was giving me an avenue to buy records, because my first entrepreneurial, adventure was being a DJ. I wanted to get into the club business. And my dad always told me, he go, like, my dad used to pay for a lot of my stuff, right? Like, I used to suck on for this, like, I'll help you this, how much will you give me for that, whatever. I was always looking for that return, right? So, and you know what? I'd help him cut the wood or help him make wine or whatever it is. And
make wine?
What? Yeah, my dad used to love making wine.
That's amazing.
So I'd help him with whatever. So, I mean, when I say help him, I put things away, put them on shelves. I wasn't really in there, but the point is that when it came to my DJing thing, his answer was always, go to school. What are you wasting your time with that for? Right. So, and it's like, I want to buy this and that. He goes, no problem. Whenever you go to work and you have your own money, you can buy your own stuff. Right. So I said, okay, since you put it that way, I'm going to work. I got a job at McDonald's and it bought me records. And I literally used my whole salary for records and stereo equipment. Right. Awesome. So, and that was my only reason there. But I even got fired from that job. And it was funny how I got fired, because I was on the McDonald's baseball team, because it was really good in the, baseball at the time, like very good. And what ended up happening was, I remember I was scheduled to play. We were in the finals basically, and I was scheduled to play and I was scheduled to start. I was like so happy, right? Yeah. Then the other manager at the restaurant scheduled me to work. I'm like, no, I can't come to work. I'm playing on the field, and like, we don't have anyone else. You're scheduled, so you have to come. So I talked to the general manager who was in charge of the league at the time. And he says, if you're scheduled, you're scheduled. I can't just pull you off for the baseball game. I go, come on. Let's find someone to replace you. So, okay, I showed up to the game. He goes, you found someone to replace? I go, yeah, no, I didn't. I lied through my teeth. I just wanted to go and I didn't care. And then naturally that didn't go so well. So they fired me, which was fine.
How did you play though?
What?
How did you play?
Oh, well, I did very well. Like when I was 15 years old, I had a 90-mile-an-hour pitch.
That is awesome.
So hitting was amazing.
I didn't hit that until I was 21. I think the first time I hit 90. So you're blessed with an amazing arm.
Marcus is a big baseball player too, so that's really funny.
So that's how I started. That's where the working experience went for me. Then I got into the DJ business, and I wanted to be a superstar DJ and stuff, obviously, like every other kid who starts doing that. But where it went from there is I got my records and I did pretty good. I mean, I discovered the world of radio, and I did my co-op in high school at a radio station in Toronto, and it was an incredible experience. I mean, I did everything that I thought I wouldn't be doing. But I learned the aspect of the business, and I just fell in love with that. So my whole intent at that point wasn't even DJing. I wanted to get on radio, and I wasn't going to do it through the school route because I was not a scholar. I was going to do it through DJing, right? Get known, get popular. Then they'll chase me. I won't chase them. or at least that was the plan. Now
Yeah.
I did well. I ended up getting a lot of live moments at the nightclubs, because what ends up happening is the nightclubs would do these live broadcasts, and I was the DJ, so I got on there. Wasn't my intent on how to get on radio, but I got on radio, so I was happy.
Awesome.
And
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So, but obviously, like everything, things come to an end. Now, basically, when all the clubs canceled the radio and I lost my radio spot, and I thought I wasn't doing this for the records anymore, I was doing it for the radio spot. So there's no more radio, and I didn't really feel like starting over to try get back on. So I just said, you know what? Now I got to take the next level. Either try to find a radio station that'll take me on directly. I mean, aside from the co-op, because I'd finished the co-op, I stayed after the co-op for a bit, and then just fizzled away. Yeah. But so I needed to figure out either how to get back in the radio where I was actually in the radio station, not part of through the club, or I get into music production, because there's no other room to grow from where I was. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do music production, and I don't really want to be doing this club stuff anymore. So I had built a print business there, and eventually evolved it into marketing as well, and build up like an agency, which was good, because I built it up to 8 figures a year before I sold it. So yeah, I got there. I got 2 years straight with top 100 in North America. And then I sold it off, and believe it or not, I sold it off to one of my suppliers.
Awesome. Oh, really?
So yeah, it worked out. And then, obviously what comes next. So as I said, I'm very entrepreneurial. So from there, I started right from there, actually, I had a contract. I worked with me and a partner. I worked on a government contract. I worked as the consultant. He was the direct contact. I did that for a year, which was amazing, because I swear to God, I worked 3 hours a week on that. And I couldn't believe that was even possible.
I want that job.
Wow.
Yeah. But obviously, like many good things, and even going in, we said, when it comes to government stuff, you got to win bids. There's no way you're going to win every single time. It's one of those things where when you have it, it's great, enjoy it, but but don't bank your whole life on it, because it's going to expire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, and then that's what it is. It lasted for a year and 3 months, and then it expired like we expected. So, and that was fine, because that gave me time to think. So from there on, again, I'm still have this passion for radio, right? Like I had never left. So I thought, what do I do then? So I thought, you know what? I'm going to build my own radio station. I'm going to do it online. Right. So
that's sweet.
Wow.
Yeah. So I built this online radio station, and as well as I'm not sure where you guys are from, but
we're in Wisconsin. We're in like the Milwaukee area.
Yes. Okay. Well, we had there's so many different avenues at the time that come around. There's a site that was called Before Last Call. There's Club Zone. There's blog.to, which is still around. Now blog.to was the most advanced one in the way that it was more than just nightclubs. Blog.to just talks about everything around, Canada, basically, or Toronto, should I say. That's why it's .to. So it's everything about Toronto. Like if it's happening, any news, any updates, it was all there. So I kind of tried to emulate something that had a mixture of everything, of all that. On top of that, I started the radio portion. So my information site was called Click GTA. So Greater Toronto Area is what it was. And then my radio part, I went with Click Radio. So it was kind of intertwined. And obviously I went in, got all the DJ equipment again, because you need all the music. How are you going to play music without any equipment? Right. So I did not want to be automated. I wanted to try to be as live as possible, as often as possible.
You mean you didn't want to just use your iPod?
No, I didn't. You know what I mean? I like to carry the iPod on me, because we know how important that is.
Yeah.
So that was it. So I created that, and I did very well with it. Right. Like, again, the income wasn't, I'm not making millions there. It didn't even compete to the marketing business, but it was enough for me. And I was having the best time ever. And I was starting to employ people, which was great.
Yeah.
And again, it became very popular, but then my parents got sick. Well, first my mom had Alzheimer's. And then from there, my dad got sick a little shortly after. So I stayed home with my dad. My mom ended up going into a home. No choice, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So then my dad got sick. So for a few years, I stopped working. I unlike the other business, I didn't sell this one. I tried to run it for a year, remotely without me
Mhm.
showing up. But I went from profit to a $30,000 loss.
Oh man, that's a tough
So
one.
Jeez.
I thought about it and said, I don't know how long it's going to be before I get back to it.
Mhm.
So this is indefinite. And I said, you know what? I can't run a business
Mhm.
when it's indefinite.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. I said, you know what? Heck with it. I'm just going to give it up. There's no other options. And that's fine. I closed that all down, but I did most of my goals through it anyways. So it was not like it wasn't a failure because I accomplished my goals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. So I was off work for 3 to 4 years. About 2.5 years into it, my dad went into a home as well. So, he went where my mom was, and they were together then.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I'm not doing anything. I tried again. I tried the whole get a job thing. That
I'm
lasted.
guessing that didn't work.
No. And to be honest, it wasn't a bad experience. It was just, I took a job that was just way too much of a drive. Now, when I took it in the summer and when everybody was on vacation. I thought it wasn't
Oh,
bad. I got there in 14 minutes. I mean, I was
yeah.
really speeding, but I mean, aside from the fact that I was really speeding, I got there in 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Then back to work in September came along, and it would take me an hour and a half without any
Oh my
accident.
gosh.
Ooh. Are you going through the city?
Oh yeah. Oh
geez.
yeah. Toronto's so congested that it takes an hour just to go from one side of the city to the other.
Well, and I
We've
think
had a
it's
couple
hard.
real estate. Oh, sorry, you go, Natasha.
No, I think it's hard too when you have such an entrepreneurial mind and then you're forced in this little box called a job. And it's like, wait, I'm stuck. Like you can't get out, and you just all you want to do is claw your way out. So I totally, I'm an entrepreneur at heart too. I've tried working at jobs, doesn't work.
Yeah. Now here's where I was going to go with this, right? So aside from that what happens is I went for the director's job and I got the job underneath her. And well, at the time I didn't know it was her that got the job, but I guess the guy was impressed. Like the CEO was impressed with my, with everything. And, I know I got to thank a certain person for it because there was a graphic designer there. And to be honest, he was the reason I got the job. I thought I was flopping in the interview. But I was getting really technical and into it. And the CEO just turns around and says, I'm sorry, I don't understand any of this, which is why I hire. He goes, but hang on 1 second. Do you mind if I just go grab somebody? I go ahead. Right. So he grabs somebody. This guy walks in and I just turned my computer and said, go ahead. Right. Because I was showing my portfolio at the time. He looked at it. And the CEO looks at him and says, okay, well, what is he doing? He goes, holy crap. He goes, what? He goes, this guy knows everything. He goes, well, what do you mean? You mean, I go, any position you want him, he can do the job. He can do the start to finish. He goes, I did not expect that. He goes, well, what's his program? The same as ours. I mean, at the time, the guy didn't know that industry is a standard program. It's the same 4 programs, regardless of where you go. You know what I mean? But he didn't know that, and that's okay. So the guy looked at it and goes, really? He goes, yeah, I'm serious. He goes, oh, okay, thank you. So now I'm looking at it, and I've been out of work for 4 years. And he goes, how much do you want to get paid? No, he told me, that's when he told me the truth. I'll go, be honest, you here for the director's job, but I already hired that. He goes, but I didn't want to cancel our meeting because I want to see, your resume, interested me. So I'm like, okay. So now you got another job. And I'm thinking, what the heck job is this? So it was the job underneath. And I'm like, I'm thinking, okay, you know what? It's a job. I could do the job. I can do it sleeping, with my eyes closed, so whatever, right? I'll take it. So now I'm thinking, okay, it's not going to pay the same as the director. So he goes, this is the part that threw me off. So he goes, how much are you looking for? So I'm thinking, now I want the job. What the hell can I tell him? Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm going,
that's a tough question.
Yeah. Right. So
especially when you feel like you're not doing well in the interview, you're like, put me on the spot.
Yeah.
I said something that in that position, I've seen other people advertise that dollar. Right. And to me, it was lower than I really would have wanted. Right. So, I looked at that, I go, but other jobs pay this. So I said, I'm going to go with that number in my head. So I said the number and the guy flipped out on me. Like, I was like shocked. Right. He goes, now don't give me a number that you think I'm going to hire you for just because then you're not going to be happy. Give me the real damn number you want. I'm like, Most times I hear people telling me, "Oh, you're asking too much." This is the first time I've heard this guy saying, "Give me your real number. Don't give me this bull crap number." And I'm like, "Wow." Right? I'm like, let me add
double
20
it
grand to that. And I think it ended up being still too little. But anyways, it took me at that extra price. So I ended up getting the job. And the intent was that he had a marketing agency and he wanted to hire everybody internal. So our marketing agent was supposed to stay till October 1st. I started before the director did, because I started this in June, at the beginning of June. And the director that he hired had other commitments till mid-July, was the end of July. So for the first month and a half I was there, and oh my God, there really was not enough work. And I was like really overqualified. So it was one of those things.
Oh, for an entrepreneur, I can just see you getting stir crazy.
Oh, trust me. I ended up having the work on one computer, and I had Facebook loaded on the other computer. I'm going to let you guess which one I spent more time on. And
this reminds me of my customer service days. I would recline my seat back, and I had a Rubik's Cube, and I'd sit there with the Rubik, and I don't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube. So my day, I'd walk in the office and I'm like, all right, I'm getting the next level of I'm going to figure it out. I wouldn't Google it. My day was spent trying to figure out the Rubik's Cube, and I'd take like 70 calls a day. And I'd put my Rubik's Cube when I got a call come in, and then as soon as it was done, I'd pick it up. And that's what I'm envisioning you, where you're just like, how do I fill my day? How do I entertain my brain? How do I keep it going?
Marcus, you just aged yourself with that, I feel.
I'm starting to get old.
That's hilarious. But yeah,
it's your story. It's great to hear, because when I was younger, I didn't know employee and entrepreneur. You just grew up and you worked. That's what I don't know if it was because I didn't have like a strong push. My dad has always done side hustles. He had his day job and he had his side hustles. My mom was 9 to 5 and then take call. She was in the nursing world and she was there. But she didn't have her side hustles, but she picked up call and worked weekends. So she was hustling. So I knew the work ethic part, but I didn't know, I'll say, the definition between entrepreneur and employee. So baseball took me through my schooling. I went through college with baseball. I played after. And then when I tore my shoulder and had a kid, and I was like, okay, baseball's done. I need to start working. So I was like, okay, next thing is to get a job. That's what everybody does. Just go get a job. And I didn't figure out that like something wasn't meshing with me. It wasn't like I hated the work, because I loved every job I had. I loved, but it was so boring. It was mind numbing. And I couldn't figure out what that was until I was at that customer service job working my Rubik's Cube. And one of my cube mates came over and was like, hey, what are you doing? I thought I was in trouble. And I like shoved it down. I was like, nothing. And he was like, no, do you know how to do that? And I was like, no, I'm trying to figure it out. And he's like, are you bored? And I was like, yeah, I mean, taking 70 phone calls a day to find out where a package is kind of boring. So like I'd get a call and they're like, hey, where's my shipment? I'd go on UPS. I'd put in the tracking number. It's in Ohio. And they're like, okay, thank you. I'd get like 50 of those a day. Like, that's boring to me. And he was like, well, you can find the bright side of it. And I was like, what's the bright side? Because like, I want more. And he's like, well, I ran my own business for 5 years and I didn't like it. It didn't fit me. I was good at it. I was successful. I was profitable, but I wasn't there for my community. I wasn't there for my family. All that extra time I didn't get. So I took this job because it allows me to go home. I can clock out. I can leave my work at home, and I can go home and spend time with family. And in my head, I was like, I understand and respect that answer, but you can do both. Because in my head, I'm like, you can do both.
I feel like you weren't being challenged when you were there, you know? Like,
I wasn't. And that's why I was like, I just don't think you like being challenged. And I was wrong. I think it's a mentality. People like different things, and entrepreneurs, when they go into the workforce as like a W-2, they can manage, but they're not getting fulfilled. It's that fulfillment side that I get fulfillment from the entrepreneur side, and that's where I should be. And I feel like you learned that at such a young age. So kudos to you on that one.
Well, thank you. I mean, It's not been an easy road, right? But like even going through what I was saying with the whole job, right? I mean, I'm going to shorten this job part and get to the next part because that's more important. But the whole point of that is when I finally met the director, she can see I had a a lot of talents, right? So she was putting a lot on me, like a lot more stuff on me, which was great. But I got caught playing Facebook, and they tried to get me off of Facebook. And the VP of the company, which is the one that was working with the agency, came in and she says, "We got a real big project. We'll put you on that, so it'll take up more of your time." Because they asked me what the biggest problem is, and this was my answer. And I think this was comical. I said, "I'm bored." I go, "I'm really, really bored. I'm very, very bored." I go, "I'm so bored that I'm bored of being bored." Right?
Yeah.
Right. And I actually said it like that. Right. So, so they got me on this big project. Oh, we've been working on it 6 months. We're not even 10% of the way through. I go, "This should take you for at least the next 3 months." 5 days later, I'm back on Facebook.
Yes.
And I swear. Right. So then they pull me into the office again and going, what did this, is it too challenging for you? I go, "Challenging." I go, "I'm done." And no word of a lie. She looks at me and says, "Bullshit." She called that VP back and says, "Look at the work. There's no way." He looked and she's like, "Oh my God." He goes, "What? It's done." He goes, "Everything? Everything. The only thing we're missing is the French." I go, "Hey, I don't speak French. I sent it to translation." You know what I mean? She's like, "Look at it going, this is impossible." Right. So I hung in for a little bit more. And the CEO said we had 5 days of no questions asked, time off. Don't need doctor's notes. Don't need to explain myself. Just take 5 days of the year and I could just take it off. I could take it to go to the cottage as far as he cared. Right. Just
That's awesome.
5 days. So
your CEO seems like, well, the past CEO seems like a great guy.
Yeah, he was. And he said he's an unconventional guy compared to others. And it showed, right? But I took my first day on a Friday. What happened was it wasn't even intentional. Friday came up. I stopped off at Tim Hortons, which could have been a blessing or a curse, because while I was at Tim Hortons, there was a major accident on the highway. And I'm talking about, I went from one stop took me an hour and 20 minutes. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
Right. And those stops aren't that big. So, and I thought about it and I said, I'm supposed to start at 9. I left at 8 or 7:45 or some stupid thing like that. And it's like 9:05 and I'm still only went one stop. I thought, I'm not making it. I go in late. I'm in trouble. If I use my one day, no harm, no foul. So right away, I didn't even call. I emailed saying day 1. Right. So Saturday, Sunday come up and I was enjoying myself. Monday came around. It came time to leave. And I said, you know what? I don't want to go. So I'm going to take day 2. Day 2. Right. Now, the director wasn't around when the CEO said that. So she had no idea. So she actually thinks I'm sick. So she goes, I go back, but she sees me doing work on the computer because by Monday night, I was kind of bored. So I'm at like 4 p.m. I'm doing the work and he's looking at me and goes, "You don't have to work on your time off." "Oh, well, I'm just filling in. Oh, take your time off, get better." I'm thinking, I'm not sick. I'm using my days. You know what I mean? Like, so comes in at 2. Tuesday I come in and I realized she has no idea. Like, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to piss her off if I tell her the truth. So he goes, "Oh, how do you think?" "Oh, I feel way better." Of course I feel way better. I wasn't sick. So Tuesday came around. She talks about, we're going to move offices around because we're going to move close to each other. So we're all in the same section because we were scattered all over the place. I'm like, okay. Wednesday comes around and I'm in the highway and I said, I can't do this. I just can't do this anymore. And so I said, I'm not going to use a day. I'm going to go in because I'm going to quit today. So I went in. She turned around and says, "Well, today we're going to move you." I go, "Won't be necessary." I go, "This isn't working for me." Now I'm thinking she wanted to talk. I go, oh, she's going to want to know reasons. So I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to say? I don't want to have this long-winded conversation about it. I just want and I'm good at coming up with lines where people go, "Oh, since you put it that way," and then I can move on. But this one here is she was very inquisitive. So I thought I got the perfect answer and I don't even remember what it was. And I'm thinking, okay, boom, done, set. I'm ready to get up and leave. And then she asked questions. I'm going, crap, that didn't work. So I'm like, what do I do now? So I guess I answered it, obviously, right? And we had a conversation. It was a good conversation. But somewhere along the line, I forgot to mention the most important part where I was going before this quit. It was obvious that I was used to being either on the top or self-employed or something, because throughout the process when we're going through this, she goes, "I could tell you're used to being the boss." Right. So I didn't see it. I thought I was playing the role. Obviously I wasn't.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. So that job ended. And I didn't know what to do with myself. So I went on 6 months trying to look for other jobs, trying to figure out what'll be closer to me. Eventually I went in circles, and I wasn't, I looked at it and I said, you know what? Either the jobs won't pay me anything that's worth me getting up, or I'm flopping at the interviews, or it's a crappy job and I can get the job, but it's a job I don't want, even if it does pay right. So I'm thinking, what do I do with myself? So I started thinking about it, and I said, you know what? My dad was a landlord. I used to go to open houses all the time. So I said, rather than looking at open houses for the sake of open houses, why don't I get my realtor's license so I can actually do this to get paid?
Yeah.
I'm doing it for free anyways.
Right.
So I might as well. So I got my license. That took 1.5 years, and hence the reason why that extra 1.5 years after my dad went into the home that I was not working. Right. So it took that 1.5 years to get the license. I got the license. I became a realtor. I was in real estate for 6 years. Now I still have certain ups and downs like everybody else. And COVID ended up, in terms of sales wise, was the best thing ever. I've never been so busy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now here's a catch.
That's
I've
good.
also never been so miserable.
Oh.
The opposite happened.
Oh no.
Right. So in the beginning, somebody would call me and I'm like, yes. Right. Now I'm getting calls and I'm like, but I realized it's not the industry as much as what I did with it.
Right.
So I was, I was able to realize that. And I had a coach in the last year that helped me with a lot of stuff. And that's what helped me get to that realization that I'm doing the wrong thing. Not the wrong industry, and not necessarily wrong in sales, but my angle and my whole premise is wrong. So that's when I decided I was going to get into coaching. And now it's like, as of January, I launched my coaching business, and I named it Just Ask John. My slogan is, when in doubt, just ask John.
I love it.
Right.
That's awesome.
So my whole plan has changed, and where I'm going with my new premise for business now is I'm still an agent. And obviously I'm not giving that up because I love the industry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I decided in 2022, unless you're a friend or a very close friend or a family member, I don't want to show houses anymore. Not unless I have to.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hire in January, I'm going to hire a buyer's agent. So that's my intent. So the buyer's agent's job is going to be to show buyers. And I'll handle the listings. Like this is the funnel. The client calls me, I deal with the client initially. Right. We go through with their wants and whatever I write down, because I'm good at that. I'm good at coming up with what they want, what they can afford, getting the process started. When it's time to actually do a booking, that's what I'm going to introduce them to the buyer's agent. The buyer's agent will take them around, and then me and the buyer's agent will both be involved on the negotiation side.
Okay.
On the purchase. Now I'll still handle the listings for now until I outgrow that too.
Yep.
Now I'm also going to get my coaching business down. So I'm going to focus on the marketing. I'm going to focus on the coaching, and that is what I'm doing to supplement the time. So therefore I'm doing the stuff I'm good at, and the stuff that I find menial, I'm passing off to somebody who will enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my expansion route. And that's where I am today.
Good for you.
Yeah. And that's kind of what you see, like the brokerages that start as the one person, like you have to start getting a bigger team because you can't take everything. If you want to get as profitable as you want, you're only one person, you only have a certain amount of time. And if you're doing showings and buyers, not every buyer can go at noon.
Right.
So you could have 4 that need to go at 5 to 8, and you can't do all 4 buyers. So
yes.
Yeah, it's something that as I struggle with, like letting go, or I let go too much. Like I've talked to Natasha a couple times, and she's like slapped me on the wrist because I like to be like, all right, Natasha, or whoever it is, my foreman, this is what I'm thinking. Give me your best ideas. And sometimes they're like, I need a little bit
more information.
A little bit more information, but I'm
or
like,
a little bit more direction.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. So there's like a fine line there that I'm still trying to develop in terms of like how much is enough and how much is too little.
Although I feel like it's not just you, Marcus. It's real estate agents in general. They're always like, they're big idea people, but they're not like really good at explaining their ideas. But I am getting pretty good at reading your ideas. So
Wait, Marcus, you're a real estate agent, right?
Yes.
I did not realize that, but now, boom, I'm glad you told me. Now I know why I
Yep.
recognize your name and face. I've seen you
Yeah.
before. Now, obviously online, not, you know what I mean, not in person because we're in different places. But I saw it when you popped on. I looked at your face and I go, I know you. I didn't know from
interesting.
where, but whatever. And I just said, rather than coming out and saying, hey, I've seen you before. So I'm sure we hang out in the same groups or whatever that I've.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're on Facebook, I am on like every agent, real estate, buy, sell, trade platform I can get on. Like my
Me as well.
newsfeed
This
is
makes
just,
sense now.
yeah, it's just like, all right, this duplex is open. This fourplex is for sale. They're selling this in Waukesha. Like I'm just flowing through. I'm on Marketplace and those everywhere. I just posted like 2 weeks ago because I had a someone trying to get into my rental unit that I had somebody lined up, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I'll help you find something. So I went onto all the forums. I'm like, hey, looking for a friend, needs to be pet friendly, at least 2 bedrooms. So I don't know if it was that post, if it was that recent, but
It's possible. It's possible.
it
Right?
could have been. But yeah,
That's awesome, right? Like it's funny how things work out.
It's all about networking, and people are. When I got into it, I was like, okay, this situation, someone calls me out of the blue. How am I going to find them something? Like, I'm just me. I don't know. But it's about the network. So, like, you
Yes.
go out and you connect with all these people. If I don't know it, somebody within real estate in my bubble will know it. I just got to ask them.
Very true.
So it takes the pressure off a little bit. But yeah, so I'm an agent, and then we do buy and hold rentals. We do flips. So just like you, my agent side is a very minimal part of my day. I take the clients that I want. I take the clients that we mesh well with, and then I can help. If I can't help them, I'll recommend them to somebody like, hey, you're out of my area a little bit. I don't see myself traveling that far, but I do know an agent in the area, so I'll pass you to them and they'll help you out. So it's not like I'm chomping at the bit to get every single thing, because my flips and my rentals keep me busy enough. So it's kind of the transition that you're talking about: friends, close friends, family, those type of things.
Exactly.
And in the long run, holding my license because I like doing it, I like helping people. But long term is managing properties across the US or across Wisconsin. I need a brokerage license. So I need to keep up the license. I need to keep up my points so that I can negotiate contracts for non-owned managed properties. That's the long-term goal of it. So that's where I'm headed.
Absolutely. It makes sense. It makes total sense. And you know what? I'm going to go back to what you were saying before about, being too involved, not involved enough and whatever. I'm going to agree with what Natasha said. And I had the same problem. Like in my marketing business, well, my biggest issue was I discovered I was a micromanager. And I didn't even know what a micromanager was back then. So I learned that because I like to have my hand in everything. I like to have control in everything. And it's like, you know what? I learned you can't scale and micromanage at the same time.
Hey, Marcus, do you remember our micromanager?
I do. I wasn't going to mention. We had worked together for a different brokerage, and at the end, it just didn't work out well. And the one thing that we found out is it was so hard to grow because everything was micromanaged. Yeah. Which does, I will admit, it plays into my philosophy now, where I try not to be.
Well, like, I mean, I like being managed. I hate being micromanaged. I like if somebody can have the faith in me that I can make good decisions. That's what I need from a boss, from somebody that I work for, is to have the faith in me that I can take your ideas and run with them, which is, I think, what Marcus does. He just forgets some of the details sometimes.
Some of them.
Well, this
so
is
John,
thing,
what
right?
are you doing to counteract the micromanaging now? I'm sure you've got some tips or tricks or theories that you're trying.
Well, here's something I've learned. Like, number one is, if you feel the need to micromanage, the problem isn't your need to micromanage. The problem is you settled with whoever you hired and you don't feel
trust. I like that.
Ooh.
So
that's
that's one thing I've learned now. Hire slowly, fire quickly.
Yes.
Right. So if you don't have somebody that meshes with you, that doesn't think like you, doesn't want to work like you, and I don't mean has the same skills as you, because that's stupid. Right. You want to hire somebody who has different skills than
you.
Right.
Because they can add to what you already can do. You don't need somebody to do the same thing you're doing, because why wouldn't you just do it yourself?
Exactly.
Right.
You want somebody that can do something beyond what you do.
Yep.
So, but you need
And I
something.
think we're doing a pretty good job, because
Yeah.
Natasha's got she's got marketing technology. I've got little to none. My foreman who runs our job sites has been in the finished carpentry framing business for going on a decade-ish. Way more construction than I have. So I knew he's the guy that's going to run the show there. I don't question his ability. He's got more knowledge. I trust it. Natasha, I trust you with marketing online because you know that avenue and I don't. So that key I did. I don't know what book I got that from, but they did say that hire for the position that's going to take that and run with it, and that's their strengths, because you have to admit that it's not yours.
Right.
And I fully admit marketing and online is not my thing. It's just not.
Which makes sense, right? And that's part of the process and learning. Like in life, if you're not growing, you're dying. There's no such thing as staying the same. You just think you're staying the same, and by the time you realize something's changed, it's too late.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I feel like it's crazy everybody's journey and how they've come and what they've learned. And I've learned so much in my years here. I mean, I ran a business previously, and so now it's fun to sit back and be like, okay, running this business isn't as hard as running the other businesses, because I'm just making things look pretty.
Right.
You're not dealing with 100 dogs around you.
Yeah, no. that was literally a shitty job.
Oh, but here's the other thing, right? Another thing that comes from change and from progress is self-realization, right? Yeah. And I'll give you a little story. Was it a week ago? It was maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I ended up in the hospital.
Oh no!
But what I went into the hospital for and what I came out were two different things. So here's what happened, right? I had lunch, and then what ended up happening is 2 hours later, right? It came out, and I just thought, maybe food poisoning, maybe I was just sick and just ignored it, whatever. So I slept that day off, right? I'm going to sleep and wake up. And through that, I had double vision. What I mean by double vision, is, most times we see, one vision, one thing, and even though we have two eyes, we see it as one.
Yeah.
Well, I would see everything twice. Like if I were looking at Marcus right now, Marcus twice. Right, I see two visions: the left eye seeing, then the right eye seeing.
Oh,
no one wants that.
It was really weird, right? But then again, I thought I just threw up, and I threw up hard. So I thought maybe that I did something that just. So I'm gonna sleep it off. I did. I woke up in the morning, right, and I'm inside with the blinds closed, so it's still dark. I see one vision again, so we're good, right?
Right.
I'm gonna go for my morning coffee. I get out, get into the car, get into the sun. Wow, I see two of everything again.
Oh, no.
So I go, it was weird, but I still didn't feel up to myself. So I knew I'm still off, and I was ignoring it. So my brother messages me every morning because we live way on the other side of each other. So he messages me saying, hey, all okay, right? So I looked at that and I told him, and I said, he goes, you got to get to the hospital. I go, what for? He goes, oh, could it be a stroke? I go, please. Yeah, I mean, you're paranoid. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking in my head, you're paranoid, everything. Oh my God, I banged my foot, go to the hospital. Oh my God, I banged my head, go to the hospital. So I dismissed it. I'm not going to the hospital for this. This is nonsense. Right. So I went through the day. I'm still not being productive. And I really just don't feel like doing anything. But I noticed if I squint like this, I could see everything in one again. Right. So I was like, okay, so it's getting better. I go the whole day, don't even eat. I just had my coffee and that was it. So I went to a local place where I live. It was an old firehouse, and that's why they named it Station 1. Right. So it was pretty cool. And it's a great cafe restaurant. I love it. So I went there like normal, but I'm starting to feel like I have a headache. I have all these things. And I'm thinking, you know what? Half my symptoms are COVID symptoms.
Oh, no.
So I thought, maybe I shouldn't have come here. Maybe I was leaving and I thought, nah, it can't be, because how could I just feel it, all of a sudden? This just seems weird, right? And I go, nah, whatever. I'm being paranoid. I go, you know what? I'm 2 blocks away from the hospital. What's the worst case scenario? They tell me I'm paranoid and I go home.
Right.
I'm just gonna go. I'm already here. Right. It's 2 blocks away from the restaurant. So I go in. The front desk goes, oh, okay. Why are you here? I go, I either need a doctor or I've got COVID and I need a COVID test, and I'm not sure which. So they test me and all that. The guys ask me all these weird questions and whatever and all that. And I'm like, oh, okay, right, sure. I'm answering it. And then the guy's doing a test, whatever. And it says, okay, wait in the waiting room. So I'm thinking, okay, that was the doctor. He tested me. I'm sitting in the waiting room. All of a sudden it goes, oh, okay, go through the doors. We got a bed for you. I go, got a bed for me. I go, oh, this can't be good.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Right. So like, I'm like, crap. Right. Like, I go, maybe it's a good thing I came. Then I meet the doctor and I go, who the hell was that? Right. So anyway, so we were talking about, he ignored the headache. And I thought, okay, that was weird. They said, what's the main symptom? I said the headache, not the vision. But he got onto the vision part. And he's doing all these tests, light in my eyes, following the fingers. And he goes, push me. Really? He goes, yeah, I just want to test your strength. Well, I pushed him. He says, wow, you're a strong guy. Right? He wasn't expecting that. So he says, maybe your legs push again, whatever. And he goes, okay. He goes, doesn't make sense. So he sends me for a CAT scan. Got to check my brain. So he's expecting. Yeah. Well, later on, I figured, like my brother said, he was looking for a stroke or for cancer.
Oh, wow. That's
neither.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. Well, I'm not, thank God.
Good.
Not really,
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So, and he goes, okay, well, he goes, I'm going to set you up an appointment with a neurologist. I'm like, cool. Right. I don't know what it is either. So, but I go, now I see you perfectly fine. He goes, you do? He goes, yeah. The only time I see double is when I turn my eyes like this. And he's going, this makes zero sense. He even got another doctor to come in and talk to me too, right? Just to confirm and look at we're looking at the exams. It's making no sense. So, and he's like, oh, have you experienced problems with diabetes? I got diabetes. No, then why would I have experienced problems with diabetes? Right? Because he's thinking maybe he missed it. Right? Yeah. He goes, none of this is making any sense.
That would make sense. Like,
so like, and he goes, okay. I go, so I can't figure that out. So we're setting you up with a specialist in neurology because that's the one thing that would make logical sense.
Sure.
I'm like, okay. He goes, I'll be honest. The fact that it's partly gone away already, that makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, it is what it is. And I'm thinking, great. I'm getting my jacket. He goes, oh, you can't leave.
Oh, no.
What, you're going to hold me for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Right? Like, no, not at all. No. Yeah. I had another problem. I go, I do? I thought this was the problem. Right? Apparently it was just high blood pressure. I go, that's not a big deal. I'll get a pill and go home. Right? Well, why is this a big thing? And he says, no, you don't understand. I go, your blood pressure right now is so high. I'm not sure you'll wake up if you go home.
Oh my God. Well, you should thank your brother.
Yeah. And I'm still going, excuse me? Like, can you repeat that? Whoa. So he says, he goes, look, I'm at the end of my shift. He goes, I'm going to give you a pill, but I don't think that's going to be enough. So the other doctor that we talked to is aware of everything as well. He's going to check you again after I leave and give you another pill if he has to. Right? He goes, but I'm not expecting the first one to work. So he gives me the pill and I'm thinking, okay, what the heck is going on here? Right? Like this is nuts. So I'm waiting around. I'm on my phone. I'm like thinking, I feel fine. I don't know. Like even the reasons I came in, I feel fine. I go, if I felt like this, I would have never come in.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm going playing around the phone. I'm talking to everybody and going, damn, my phone's dead. I left my charger at home. I'm like, now what do I do now? I'm like, I'm bored. So it comes around 45 minutes, not even the full hour that he says. He goes, I'm going to do, one more blood pressure test. Looks at it and goes, oh crap. I go, what? I'm thinking, okay, you found the one thing that's going to kill me now, like, right? Like that. I go, this is it. And he goes, the medication works faster in you than I expected. He goes, your body reacts to medication quickly. I'm like, okay, am I dying? He goes, no, you can go home now. I go, I can what? I thought I was here for like another 4 hours or like, So he goes, no, he gave me a prescription. He says, I got 20 days. You got 20 days of this. It's pretty much a higher dose, but then you got to go to a family doctor. You have to find a family doctor to get on regular medication. He goes, all right, I could do that. I goes, and if you feel anything different, like you feel sick, lightheaded, you start spinning, you got to come back. Promise you will come back if that happens. Well, I'll come back if that happens because now I'm freaked out. Right. So, but then I went home and I thought about this and I said, you know what? What if that was the end?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And let's face it, as entrepreneurs, we always have doubt.
Right.
And I thought to myself, what if this was the end? Because I was doubting what I was doing. I thought maybe not the building the team part. Maybe I shouldn't do the coach. Maybe I should just double down on the real estate and, like get as many as I can and just keep being miserable just so I can keep getting more money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, cause you always worry because this is working. What if the other one doesn't work? And I'm cutting down my income immediately by splitting it with an agent. Right. So then I'm cutting down my income with the hope of building something bigger. And I thought maybe I can't afford to do that. But then after this hospital trip, I turned around and said, you know what? If this was the end, I haven't been living my true potential, since my dad passed away. Right? Like that's when I sort of got into this fully. And I said, you know what? I haven't been living my true potential. And I keep preaching to others that they should be. And what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. It was kind of a realization, an opening. And I said, I don't want to live like this. And that's when I just doubled down on everything I said I was going to do. And I'm all in now.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's such a cool threshold to get past, where you're like, there was purpose before, but now there's like a true meaning. Like there's an internal meaning for me to do this. It doesn't even make you smarter or faster or stronger. You just put more focus into it and more production comes out of it. So I think that's like that there's a book it reminds me of, The Tipping Point. Everybody has a tipping point where you're working and you're rising, but something has to tip where either something clicks in your head or something within your process clicks where workflow goes better. There's a tipping point in every entrepreneur's journey. And that might be your tipping point, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, look, another thing, a realization is that I used to discard vacations. When people said, oh, I need a vacation, my head would be going, no, you're just weak. You know what I mean? What do you need a vacation for? You're on a roll. Keep going. You know what I mean? Like, I go, if you're going to walk away from your business.
I don't know who thinks like that.
It's interesting. It's interesting you're talking about that. I literally just had that conversation with my husband today because I was like, we should just take a sick day. Like, we should just take a sick day, spend some time together and like have a lovely day. And he's like, but I'm not sick. And I go, I know, but your business gives you sick days for a reason. It's not you being weak by taking a sick day. It's you saying, hey, I need a break.
Right. Now, this is where I was going. Right. So my initial things, because as you can tell, I'm sure from my conversation, when I get into something, I'm all in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And I like to go. I don't know when to stop. Like, honestly, the only reason I even sleep is because there's times I'm on the computer and I'm just doing this. And I started doing that. I said, I can't fight it anymore. I got to go to bed.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but that's just my personality. I'm all in. I'm generally an overachiever and I've got large goals. So, but one thing I've learned is that I don't really have a personal life. My personal life is still entangled in my business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I have an attitude of, I go somewhere and I go to an event. Everyone's going, oh, I'm going to see Bob. I'm going to see Kelly. I'm going to see whatever. I go into the room and go, where's my money at? Right. Like I'm looking, who's next? You know what I mean? It's time. I got room to grow. I got room to add to my roster. Who am I adding tonight? Right. Like who can I meet? Who can I build my database with?
Right.
Right. And, and there's nothing wrong with networking, but it shouldn't be your only priority.
Right.
I should be able to take in my environment, take in the people I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. Like, and I don't know how to turn off.
Yeah. That's hard as entrepreneurs.
Right. And
very
that's
hard.
where
I'm
saying what the whole vacation thing is. I've kind of opened up and said, you know what? Maybe it's not a sign of weakness, but maybe it's a sign of intelligence to know that I need this week to myself so I don't crack.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly.
So maybe it's a position of the strength to know that when you're going off track, you got to refocus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know that with me starting, and even with me as a W-2 like employee, I never thought of myself as the smartest. And I'll never call myself the smartest in the room because I don't want to be. I don't want to be the most talented because I want to be, that saying like, you're the average of the 5 people you're with.
Yes.
So I never want to be the smartest. I never want to be the most talented. I never want to be the strongest. I always want that person ahead of me. But what I do want is I want to be the hardest working. I will outwork all 5 of those people and then some.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets me in trouble where I never turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I'm going to work harder than them. I know it. I'm not smarter than them. I'm not stronger than them, but I'm going to work harder. And I'm confident in that.
Marcus,
but I got to turn it off at some point.
We're identical. I'm telling you. My goal is to find those 5 people, and I want to be the dumbest of the 5.
Right.
And on top of that, you're right. I'll outwork everybody.
Yep.
I very
But it
rarely.
struggles when you're like, okay, now is the time. I can outwork those 5 people, but do I need to? Like, is this my moment to do it?
Right.
Or do I take that pause button? And it's been hard for me because I just hired the foreman this year. So this whole new someone working the job sites and not me is really foreign to me. So like I find myself calling him like, hey, how's everything going? And he's like, it's good. And I'm like, all right, I was panicking for nothing. Like he's got it. I don't need to do the extra 5 things to drive myself insane. Let me pick up the dogs and take them to the dog park, or go grab lunch with my girlfriend, or like something. Even though those situations are very few and far between, when I can get them, these days I love to take the opportunity to do it.
As you should.
It's just hard to turn it off. It's so hard.
Absolutely. Now let me ask you something. What do you guys think of Christmas?
Oh my God. I just had this conversation last night. I'll let Marcus start. I'm a little passionate about it today.
I'm gonna let you start, Natasha.
So my view on Christmas is it's about friends and family. I don't want gifts. I don't want to give gifts. I don't want to get gifts. I just want it to be about friends and family. That's my thought. And I get really frustrated when people focus so much on the gifts, because that's not what it's about. That's my thought.
Right.
So I don't like the Hallmark Christmas is what I call it. The Hallmark Christmas, we can do it. Like we set up the Christmas tree and put the ornaments on. I just loved watching the boys do it.
Right.
I put the little hooks on the ornaments and the boys went crazy putting ornaments on. That's Christmas to me. Like the dinner, the family coming over, that's Christmas. The gift thing is just something that people like to do, and I'm on board with it because it's like the tradition. But in terms of holidays, they are that family and friends. Like all the employees are off on Christmas. The guys are off the job site the day before Christmas or any holiday. So Labor Day, they get Labor Day and the day before. They get Thanksgiving the day before Thanksgiving, because I want them to enjoy their Thanksgiving and then like have a little bit of extra time where not everybody can meet on the day.
Right.
So like take a little bit. Plus it goes into safety. Like there's some safety aspect, and I won't hide that. I don't want my employees hanging out with their family, enjoying themselves, having a beverage or 5, and then coming to work using drills, power equipment, and machinery. It's just not safe.
No.
So it's not worth the push. Just take 2 days, enjoy yourself, come back, reset, and then we'll work the next week.
Right.
So I have it set up with all the guys on the job sites. All I'm asking is 40 hours a week. If you do 4 10-hour days, Friday's off all summer. Like doesn't matter to me. Just put in your 40 hours. We're good. However you guys want to work them is up to you or up to Jerry. But I segued off of holidays, but it all spurs into that one concept.
Right.
So what are your thoughts?
Now I'm about to make a lot of enemies here.
Oh no.
But this was my truth. And this is why I brought it up. I hated it. And I didn't hate it because of the holiday, because I'm a Christian and I believe in, the holiday and all that. I disliked how it disrupts my workflow.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't like the fact that everybody's in la la land for that, but meanwhile I'm still on.
Yeah.
Right? So like in my head, I'm on. I couldn't turn it off. I don't like the commercial aspect of it either, like you said. It's all about gifts. But I wasn't always like that. But I would say that once I hit the entrepreneurial route, that's when I started hating it. I don't like the time off. I didn't want the time off. I'd rather go. Recently, as in the last few years, I'm starting to appreciate the family time. But it took a few deaths, in my circle to tune into this. Because what ends up happening is it's always that mentality that you always have tomorrow.
No, you don't.
Yep.
When you lose a few people, you start going, well, you don't have that now.
You don't.
So then you start tuning in and going, maybe I got this wrong. Maybe I should enjoy those moments, because it's supposed to be about being together with people you care about.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right. But I missed the point. I just saw that it disrupted workflow.
Yep.
And now that, like I said, you lose a few people and you start going, I would have loved to have one more event or like one more holiday with them, one more, time, where instead of saying I'm too busy, maybe I should have gone.
Yeah.
Right. So then you can, like, as entrepreneurs, and you're growing, you tend to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. So now I value them. I'm learning to turn off very slowly, but I'm learning.
It's not easy.
No. Yeah. Now look, this is my idea of vacation, which is going to be my 2022. I'm going to pack up my laptop, and I'm going to pack up my mobile mic.
There you
go. And I'm going to go on my vacation. 9 to 12 in the morning is when I'm going to have my laptop loaded. I'm going to do all my coaching sessions, all my admin, everything I have to do. I do all my recordings. 12 o'clock hits, laptop goes back into the knapsack, and that's when I'm going to enjoy my whole day. And that'll be my whole vacation for the 14 days. Reality is Monday to Friday. I'll do the Monday to Friday. And what I'll do is Saturday and Sunday, it'll be 100% me.
Oh, and then, good for you.
So I'll have 4 days of the 14 days that I plan to go. That'll be all me.
Awesome.
And then the other 10 days, it'll be 3 hours of work. And then the rest of it, I'm going to explore.
I think that's doable. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Are you going somewhere
warm?
Where are you?
I was just going to say, where are you going?
I haven't figured that out. I mean, again, this is part of the return from the hospital thing. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to be here. And I don't want to be doing this where I'm stuck all day and night. And I want to explore. I'm not going to let a couple of grand stop me from exploring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I've gone on less than 5 vacations in my 45 years.
Oh, wow.
2 of them were because of my parents took me, not even by choice. Well, I still enjoyed them. I'm not saying I didn't, but it wasn't my choice where I said, hey, I want to go. You know what I mean? I didn't know. My parents, my first one, I was 5 and my parents were leaving. Well, they weren't going to leave me alone. And my brothers and sisters worked at the time. So they weren't going to, not do their job. So I was going whether I wanted to or not.
Yeah.
At 15, I had the option, but at 15 is where you really soak things up and get to learn. So I went.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 15 or 14. It was one of those. But either way, so I went then, and that's when we went to Italy. So where I got to meet my other family and stuff.
Speaking of Italy, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're talking about like taking the time and taking the step back. Now I was in high school at this time, but growing up, my grandma always talked about taking us to Sicily. That's where we're from. So go back to Sicily. She wants.
That's where I'm from too. Didn't know that.
Sicily. Yep. Safiros. Wow. Safiros. So she always talking about going to Sicily and taking us with. And growing up, I was in basketball and hockey and baseball and school and friends, and I never took up the opportunity to do it. And in college, she passed, and I never, I went from, we should go to Sicily to having that off the table. I don't know if I'll ever get to Sicily now. So it's those things where it's damn, if I would have taken a week, I could have missed a week of hockey. It wouldn't have killed me. But it's those reflecting moments of I'm not upset with my choice. I made my choice. I was happy with it, but I don't know. You look back and you're that would have been a very awesome travel experience to go with someone that I highly respect. So much respect for my grandma, still with me, but yeah,
I get it. And here's the other thing. All right. I also, part of it is I also had a certain belief, and this certain belief, I still have it. And because a lot of time, and unfortunately, I couldn't separate my belief and realize that it's not applicable for everybody. And where I mean is that I have a lot of friends that all the time they're going on vacations. I described it and goes, oh, I need a vacation, whatever, right? But they're full of debt. I do not believe in traveling when you owe money.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I know so many people, and I've seen so many people throughout my life that'll swipe their credit card and then say, I'll figure it out later to go on this.
Well, it's free money. Credit card's free money, right?
It's that's what I see when I see people go to Disney. I'm like, oh my God, that's so much money.
Yeah. But that's the thing, right? So I will go on vacation because I'm pulling it out of my checking account. I won't do it if I'm pulling it off my Visa.
So I just want to say one thing. So we don't give Christmas presents every year. We give experiences. So this year we're going to Oregon in January for my son's Christmas present. And I told my husband, I said, all I want for Christmas is to make sure that every single thing is paid off before we get there in January. That's all I want.
Well, there you go. See, now I think you're delivering something more valuable to your children than any kind of gifts can get. And I believe that let's face it, often we'll take the millennial generation. I'm sorry that I'm bashing them.
No, I am one of them, and I bash them all the time.
But hear this out, right? Like they come out, oh, they're lazy, they're unmotivated, they're unrealistic, they don't want to work, like they feel entitled. And here's what I believe: blame the parents.
Yeah.
Because what happens is every generation, we'll even use my family as an example. Parents struggle, and they're struggling so bad that a lot of times the children will go to Canada or the US or somewhere else to build a better life. Now, the grandparents started when the bombs were dropping. You know what I mean? So obviously you're in a territory where all the bombs are flying.
Yeah.
You can't fault them for being in that scarcity afraid mentality.
Yeah.
Right. So parents come in, now they come to the country, they come with $20 and a suitcase. So what happens there? Now they're like, holy crap. Now they're scared and they're living with scarcity and frugalness and worry. So what happens when they have kids? They tell their kids, they don't tell them, but they think, I want to do well and provide for them and make sure they go to school to get a good education, to get a good job, so they don't have to suffer the way I did.
Yeah.
Right. Then their kids go in there and they feel like they're suffering for whatever reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Then they go there and say, you know what? My parents didn't have a lot to give to me. My parents weren't able to provide. I did without a lot. But I got my education, I got my job, and it pays. I'm going to make sure that my kids don't do without, so like I did.
Yeah.
So now what happens? That the next generation has a little easier.
Yeah.
So now that's the generation that the parents financed the car, didn't give the cars yet. They just helped them buy it so they didn't pay interest. Then you got the next generation that same thing. Oh, you know how hard it was to pay for school and all that. Yeah, even my parents paid for it, but I had to pay them back. So I went years after school. So, oh my God, what shall I do? My kids aren't going to suffer like this. So now I'm going to give them a car instead of letting them pay for it. So now what ends up happening, you're at that millennial that was given everything, was told that they're special growing up, told them, don't let anybody bully you. Don't let anybody put you down because you're special. And what ends up, they're taught that they can do no wrong. And the reality is the parents are trying to shelter them so they don't suffer like the way they did.
The one piece of advice that my mom gave me was life isn't fair. Life's not fair. That's it.
That's my grandma.
Period. End of sentence. And I was like,
and she would do it.
Yeah.
My grandma would do it so cold. So cold.
Yep.
I'd walk in to the kitchen up north and I was like, Grandma, can I have a cookie? And she's like, no. And I was like, I just want a cookie. And she's like, life's not fair. And she'll walk out.
Yeah.
Just done.
That's exactly what my mom.
It's just life's not fair. I don't care.
Yep.
Right. But this is where I'm going though. So now these people go to school, they get educated and I got a job for you. Great. What's that? I'm going to work at Starbucks. Well, I didn't go to university to work at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Right. And they're not wrong. I get the point. But again, they get into the job and their employer says jump and they say, screw you. What do you mean jump? I'm not, my mom said I'm special. Right. Like reality hits. And now notice depression is up more than ever in history. Yeah. So I think this is all contributing. It's not the only reason. I'm giving you one scenario.
Yeah.
But
do you like reading, John?
I love reading. I read about 24 books a year.
Have you ever read How to Raise an Adult?
Crap. No, I didn't.
It is such a good, for me, I read it for parenting. I literally just wanted the education for parenting. It's a longer book. But the author who wrote it was a dean of students at some like high Ivy League school, colleges, both East and West Coast. She went down to high school level and then she ended up writing this book. And she talks about the helicopter parents. And then she talks about the new evolution of lawnmower parents.
What's that?
And it's basically like kind of what John's alluding to. Our grandparents started at 1, 2, 3. And then the grandparent doesn't want their kid to start out at 1. They want the kid to start out at 3. So they start the kid out at 3, 4, or 4, 5, 6. And then the next generation starts out at 6. but they lose that basic keystone of one, that like the world's not fair and we're not all special and we need to work. Like we need to get to 6 through work. You can't just start at 3. You can't just start at 6. There's things to learn here.
Got it.
Or if you do start them at 6, they need to learn how to do it. And she put it in the perspective of like a school science project that her kid did. And they walked into the symposium thing where everybody's 3 hard like cardboard posters were hung up. Everything was like perfectly cut out and there was backgrounds to it and everything was in Word and cut out and like clean. And we're talking about like 4th graders.
Oh boy.
So she's like, there's no way that you at 4 years old did that. Your parents did that. But the parents didn't want them to fail, so they make it look better. And her son's in there with like this hodgepodgey whale type thing that's paper mached, colored in with marker. And she's like, I'm more proud of that because he did it
Of course you are.
than the other person whose parents did it.
Right.
And that's what she equates lawnmower parents. Like they push them through to make sure they don't fail.
Got it.
Rather than like, hey, your job is to make a whale. It's not my job to make a whale. You need to make a whale.
Mhm.
Like I'll help you with it, but like you've got to get the paper and the scissors and like figure out how to create this. Because that's the one that we need to start with. So if you like reading, John, recommend the book. I will warn you, it's a longer one. I read it and listened to an audiobook, and audiobook was like about 11 hours.
Oh wow.
So-
Oh, that's right. Yeah, good.
Buckle up, and it is a very educational book. I like it.
Which is awesome. I mean, I will look into that one. My
Yeah.
biggest advice for everybody when they get it, like I've had people call me and say, you know, I'm new to the business. What advice do you have? And it's very, very simple. Fail fast and fail often, because you're only
Yeah.
going to fail once doing it, and then you'll learn. And that's going to be the
Right.
best way to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, you can't, and everybody has this curtail, if I want to call it that, where they have to get into a job that they're passionate about, or start a business that they have all passion. Everything's about passion. Forget the money. But you know damn well you got to pay your bills at some point. Now, I agree with following your passion. I agree with getting there. But people, it goes back to what you were saying. Now, the thing you're talking about is 6, 7, 8. You got to get through 1 to 6 before you can get to that. So do whatever will get you there. You're going to have to, build your bones in a sense to be able to do that point. So learn, grow, start from the beginning, do the shit you hate until you get to number 6. And then from number 6, you can always start your passion there, because now you have your foundation.
Yep. You got to work at the McDonald's. You've got to work at the co-op radio station. Like you've got to take the bumps. You've got to take the failures and the successes and the boredoms that educate you personally. Your experiences are like, that's not what I want, or that is what I want. So now when I get to 6, I know what I know, and I can make an educated decision on going forward. So kudos for you. Kudos for your parents for pushing you that way. And I mean, obviously it led to something good. So congrats on the road you've traveled.
Thank you.
I feel like we haven't even got into your actual road. Like
I
the
know,
real
we're
estate
gonna have
and the
to have-
podcasting.
We'll have to have him
See,
on
this is
next time.
this is why we need the second, because
Anytime.
I like the background, everything. Obviously, we try to limit these to an hour, which is why we
went way over.
I get yelled at. When we
But I've been
first
having
started
so
out,
much fun.
It's true though.
when we first started out, we weren't on camera and we were just on mics, and we did it in person. So me and Natasha were sitting across the table with our guest on the phone or in person, and she'd always like lean over and be like, because I'd always go over. So I've learned I got to cut it an hour, but I was like, in compromise, we got to bring these people back because we don't get through everything that we really wanted to get through. Like I want to learn about your real estate. I want to learn about your podcast, about your coaching. Obviously I want our viewers to be able to reach out to you for the coaching as well in the real estate up in the Toronto area. So we're going to have you back. But I mean, I love your mindset. I love what you bring to the table. So hopefully you keep pushing, and I want to learn more about this coaching stuff. That's what I'm very excited about.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Awesome. I'll email you when we're all off.
Fantastic.
All right, sounds good.
And
what I'm
if
going
you guys wouldn't mind doing me a favor, once you guys have the edited copy, if you wouldn't mind sending me a copy, because I'd like to spice everything up and share it. I'm very big into content creation.
Happily.
And I take every episode and I splice it up into different,
fun.
little 1 minute clips and post it.
Segments. Yeah, I love it.
And just for our show notes, John, what is the best way to reach you? Do you have a website, email, phone number?
Absolutely.
We can put that in the show notes.
Absolutely. We'll use my coaching website because I did it myself, so I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
It's just
show it off.
It's www.justaskjohn.ca.
I love it.
Awesome. I'm gonna do a very unique sign off here. I'm gonna try to not get emotional on it. So we've had, like, obviously, John, you expressed some family stuff in your life. Whew. We're gonna edit this, right, Natasha?
Yeah.
I know, Natasha, you've had stuff go on within your family.
Really.
So
pretty.
if everybody's out there listening to the podcast, when you're done with this, just pick up your phone. It takes 10 minutes, 5 minutes, just text people in your life.
We're gonna edit it. getting dusty in here.
John, this is the first time you've cried. I'm sorry. But like, it's touching. Like, you talk about the times missed and all that. So reach out to somebody in your life that you look up to, that means something to you. Maybe there's more than one. You don't need to do it on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Just reach out.
Do it anytime you can.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm honored. Thank you.
Thank you
so much for coming on. We will, I hope everybody has a great weekend and no crying.
Definitely.
I'm about to run into Menards and pick up supplies. I'm going to wipe the tears out so it doesn't look like I'm crying in the store.
Marcus, it was just sawdust. That's all.
It was sawdust.
That's it.
Sun was in my
Exactly.
eyes.
It's in the air.
Well, thank you, John. We're going to get you back. I'm looking forward to knowing more of like the nuts and bolts of the business side of it. But your background, your mindset, I love it. So keep pushing. I'm looking forward to learning more about you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
All right. Have a good weekend.
You
Thanks,
too.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.